Salud.
Salud.
Salud. Let's get it. ¿Qué onda, mi Cesar?
¿Cómo andas, Omar?
I'm chilling. How are you living?
Chilling.
This beautiful Wednesday.
Beautiful
Está
Wednesday.
hermoso.
Hermoso toda la semana pasada, toda esta semana.
The weather is weathering.
I just want to get to work y chingarle, seguir chingándole madrazos. And excited for the weekend también.
Excited for the weekend. Hopefully we get some beautiful weather para ir a salir. I don't know, a little park day. I don't know.
Ya toca un beach day. Ya toca.
You like going to Santa Cruz?
I love the beach, bro. It doesn't matter where we go. I just Watsonville.
Sand en las
Santa
nalgas.
Cruz.
Fuck it.
Pues donde quiera sand, pero.
You know what? I'm not the biggest fan of the beach. I like it. But when it gets too hot, I'm just like, I'd rather just be in an AC room.
Nah.
But like if it's beautiful weather, maybe 80, 85 max-ish, then I'm like, vámonos a la playita.
Pero that's the thing, right? Cuando aquí inland, it's like in the 90s. Like you go to the beach and it's like perfect, like 78.
Yeah, it's
like
beautiful.
Low 80s.
But when it's 100 here and it's 95 over there, and I'm just like, puta madre.
Unas pinches pacíficos.
Unas chelas bien frías, cabrón, ¿verdad?
Tocan. Yeah, the weather, beach weather is coming and I'm excited for it.
Damn, beach season ready?
Beach season. Beach body, a lo mejor no sé.
A lo mejor no. We still under construction.
Booey out here, bro.
Pero estamos chingándole, folks.
Sí.
All right, welcome back, folks, to episode 105 of Golsided. We're moving. We're moving and grooving.
105, let's go.
This one's a very special one. Sometimes we do this as a bonus episode, but we figured this is the biggest news that we've seen in the past week or two. We're going to be doing a recap, a reaction video to la convocatoria del Jimmy Lozano, de la Selección de México.
Sí, señor.
It's the first list of 31 players ahead of la Copa America. It's going to be who they will play against Brazil, who they play against Uruguay, Argentina.
No, I think they're playing Ghana again.
Yeah, the three matches ahead of Copa America. This is the squad that will be there, and then he has to trim that to 23.
Yes.
23 or 26, apparently. I don't know what the final list is going to be. But we got the full list. A lot of surprises. A lot of names. Apparently, a cambio de generaciones, right, is the big buzzword. We'll see if that's true. We'll argue it out here. There are about 5 to 6 players that were on that World Cup squad that were staples, that were very important, that have been important for a decade or so, that are just not there anymore. We'll talk about that, if they should have been there, what's going on. A lot of new names, most of them from Liga MX, because Mexico's list of players in Europe is not growing.
No.
Right? So they're bringing new faces, but they are Liga MX usual faces. A lot of old players returning, and not old by old age, because this is the youngest call-up in a long time.
Since I can remember, probably.
Yeah, I think the average age is around 26, which is great for them. But old as in previously convocados, completely shunned, not even thought of as part of the team, and are now, because their great performances in Liga MX, coming back, making an appearance, and taking the place of some pretty big names, right?
Yes.
So we're going to go down the list. We'll go position by position, break down kind of what's going on there. At the end of it, maybe we'll bring it a little bit broader about like who we like, who we don't like, who's missing, who should be there, what's up with those old heads that are not there anymore. Is this really a cambio generacional? Can we label it that? And maybe we'll wing it and do a starting 11 with this squad.
I'll be down.
Let's get it. All right, folks, just to get us started, Cesar, 31, we said. The keepers were missing a very big one there.
Ochoa has not been called up this convocatoria list.
Yep, your boy.
Big surprise, yeah.
Your boy. I didn't even think about it in such a high, nailed it down, I guess I would say. But I've been seeing people now posting like sad videos and being like, bro, this is my childhood. It just ended now, right? It's over. Mi ídolo, el porterazo, the one that got me into goalkeeping.
Yeah, I was one of those that got into goalkeeping because of like the Ochoas, the Jorge Campos growing up.
Osvaldo Sanchez.
Just no, pues no tanto. But he was a big goalie at the time when I was growing up, and I don't necessarily. I understand why people feel that way. Like, oh, this is the start of the end for Ochoa. But for me, it felt more like, yo, this was a change needed, and I don't mind him coming back as not like a coaching role, but like as a like mature,
like a mentor,
getting the other goalies ready for Copa America, for the World Cup moving forward. But this sudden, like, no, he's not in the convocados list anymore, was surprising. But I also understand what Jimmy Lozano's trying to do. Yeah. So I'm all for it.
It's a little bit crazy. As you said, he didn't like do a transition now. He's not the second goalkeeper. He's not the third goalkeeper there in the locker room, right? He's just not there.
Yeah, which is also an interesting point, because if they had decided to keep him, then he'd be like the face of that old generation that we're trying to get rid of, right?
Yeah.
Because there's some players that, like you mentioned, are coming back that were there before, but in the recent times they weren't there. But it's not like the establishment almost, right?
Yep.
Or you keep Ochoa and you're like, oh, they called up Ochoa. Like, does Jimmy really want to?
Just because,
yeah. Right? So it's a really refreshing what Jimmy tried to do now. And, I mean, ¿qué se le va a decir a Jimmy now?
So, yeah, let's just get right into it then. We'll talk about the keepers. Let's start off with the keepers. Like we said, we don't have Ochoa there, which is the big absence. But the three that we do have, Luis Angel Malagon from America. Your America. We have Raul Rangel from my Chivas, who's a pretty big surprise, in all honesty. And then Julio Gonzalez from Pumas, which I think is an even bigger surprise. Well, let's maybe break that down. Not bigger because he's never been there, because he has recently. He was, I think, the fourth goalkeeper called up like by emergency last time. Definitely didn't play. And then Raul Rangel, we know from Chivas, has been tearing it up this season, has some of the best stats, hasn't been scored on in the last 5 like we've been talking about. In season had one of the highest clean sheet numbers, and we know Malagon is probably going to start when we look at these three, right? So give me your thoughts on these keeps.
I think they're really good options for keepers. Malagon has been killing it for the past year and a half. And then Tala Rangel, like you said, young goalkeeper, 22 years old, and has been killing it this season. So está en su momento también, and is very much deserved of this call-up. And then Julio Gonzalez, I know he was called up for the Copa America and these past few friendlies, but I think he's 33 years old. So it's kind of, we're going back to that thing that we want to get away from, is call younger keepers who are the future of Mexico. Julio Gonzalez maybe gets to the next World Cup, pushing 35. But I think, we're better off if we call Fernando Tapia from Querétaro's or somebody else, another young goalkeeper. So
yeah. So I could take a step back for a second. So Rangel's 24. So he's like 24. A little bit older. Okay. That's still pretty young, especially for a Mexican goalkeeper. Yeah. Super young, right? I don't love Gonzalez being there. I like him as a keeper. I always wanted him to get his shot when Ochoa was there and like bring him in, a ver qué trae type of a thing. But now, if you're taking out Ochoa, you need a player there with more experience. I understand Malagon won bronze. Malagon won bronze in Tokyo with Jimmy. So he has big tournament experience with that. But I think the tournaments, the adult tournaments now, La Libre that they're getting into with Copa America, with the World Cups, I think he needs somebody there. He should have gone to the last World Cup as a third goalkeeper just to get him the experience. But now you don't have anybody with World Cup experience at keeper when I think you need somebody there. So I would have loved if they would have transitioned Ochoa out now to a third keeper position until he wants to retire. Give him a role within the coaching squad or in the federation or something. I have heard a couple of notes that Ochoa apparently was given the option, like, hey, you're not going to be the starter, but like we want you there, and that como que se negó.
Yeah.
That he was just like, if I'm not starting, I'm not going. Like, what the hell? Like, I got shit to do.
Yeah, which makes sense también. Like, it's shitty. It sounds shitty from Ochoa's from an outsider, right? Mm-hmm. Looking in, saying, oh, Ochoa not going to be the starter, ahora ya no quiere ir. So it's like, well, then what the fuck? But it like he's older también, so it does make sense that the young kids got it now.
Yeah,
Let them do it.
But the thing, it's a perfect storm, right? It's not his responsibility for the young kids to be ready, right? Ochoa's. But if you're looking at it from Jimmy, if you show up to the World Cup, nobody in that locker room from the keeper perspective has been there or done anything remotely that intense.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. I just think that in that keeper room, they look at each other and they're just like, okay, like, yeah, we're all very good high-level goalkeepers, but who really has been there? None of us ever been to Europe.
Yeah.
None of us have been at the biggest of stages, right? And now we have to figure out a way to lead the team that's in front of us, the rest of the 10 players, and be the coach on the field, right? A veces se dice the keeper is that coach on the field también. And I have all the confidence in the world in Malagón that he can kill it. I have confidence in Rangel in the future.
Yeah.
Even though they're pretty close in age. But I would have loved a better veteran. And the thing also is that there's not that. I know there's more Mexican keepers now in Liga MX, but there's no killer. There's no killer veteranos. And there's just nobody else that's like great. I mean, there's the dude from San Luis, Sanchez. There's the dude from Puebla.
From Pachuca.
There's Carlos Moreno from Pachuca, but they're not veterans tampoco.
I think Necaxa es extranjero. But yeah, like I get what you're saying. But my take to that is, well, then we have the Copa America for them to get this experience.
Yeah, but the thing
Copa
is,
America, you have big selecciones like Brazil, Argentina, Uruguay, all these big ones that are still, it's a pretty high stakes tournament.
Yeah. Yes,
I get it that it's not a World Cup where everybody's tuned in, where one mistake can cost you anything. Pero a eso vamos.
Yeah. Then at that point, you might as well have taken Tapia, right? ¿Para qué llevar a Julio González when, like, he's not going to get the minutes on the field and he's already not a veteran?
Yeah.
So, like, de qué te ganas? Like, that dude started playing, like, professionally first division at, like, 27.
I know.
Right? And I like the level that he's at. Don't get me wrong, because in the past episodes, I've wanted him there. But not as my one old head.
Yes,
¿Qué les va a decir? They've been in bigger stages than he has. They've been professional longer than he has, and he's older.
Yeah, I understand. Completely understand what you're saying. Tapia got called up for the U23 squad because he's still younger. He's 22. So hay procesos, y I'm happy where we're at now. In my opinion, yeah, in a perfect world, Ochoa should have been there as that third keeper. They should have brought him here. They should have forced him here. Y decirle, okay, no vienes ahora cuando te necesitamos ahora en esta faceta from your playing career as a mentor, as a coach on the field. Then you're done with the Mexican selección.
And it seems like that's what happened, yeah. So you overall thumbs up for this goalkeeper crew.
Thumbs up, yeah.
I give a good, like a thumbs, like a pinche 45-degree angle así, because I like the first two. I think you got your stud of the future, your stud of the present, Malagón. Your hopeful future project in Rangel. They're banking a lot on this kid by putting him there. I think they're banking a lot on him. I think you needed the better veterano. You needed to have convinced Ochoa. Hopefully, Ochoa will be there as a third at the World Cup if they don't figure out a way to have three stacked players there that somehow have experience. If Malagón goes to Europe, Rangel goes to Europe, and maybe Rangel goes to Europe because he's younger, but he's still the backup.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that, right? But like people with differing opinions, differing ideas of footy, right? Yeah, I think they sure brought Ochoa. Who knows? Like, I mean, we got Cota still in Liga MX. You still have Talavera. I know he's injured. He was at the World Cup, right? Like, could we have done something better with the veteran role? And to your point, Copa America is where they're going to get the experience. I love that. But then are we calling Copa America almost like a throwaway tournament if they do shit?
No, I think there's a higher level of patience with this squad if they do shit.
But Copa America is like the number 2 tournament for Mexico
and that's,
behind World Cup.
That's the issue that we've had, right? We said as soon as you got you flunked out of the World Cup, going into that Copa Oro, that's when you should have done.
That's when they should have done it.
Even what's happening now.
Even Duilio Davino, the head of the Varonil Deportes de México de fútbol, ex Monterrey. He came out and one of the reporters told him, like, isn't this too late?
Yeah.
Copa America is in a month.
Yeah.
You've had 2 major tournaments, Copa Oro, Nations League, a whole bunch of moleros, all these shitty games.
Yeah.
You couldn't bring a lot of these players. They did bring Memo Martinez, and he tore it up in one of the matches. But, like, couldn't we have done this a little bit earlier so that the people are used to it? The players get used to it. We're saying this is what we want. Why is it happening 1 month before? Like, it's kind of a little crazy. And that's going to be a big theme for a lot of these. It's like, why now? And then also what you had talked about, Fernando Tapia, U23 call-ups took a lot of quality players that I think is going to be a theme in this that could have been the generational change that we're talking about here.
Correct.
So we'll keep talking. But yeah, like we said, both of us, a bit of a thumbs up. Very thumbs up, Cesar. Me, like a good thumbs up. But I love Rangel there. I love Malagon for the future. It was time.
It was time. It was overdue.
It was very much overdue. Now Malagon's got to show up.
Yeah, and I think he will. I think a lot of issues were with his height, but I think in America he's shown that he's more than capable.
Yo, legit, I think they're doing Mano Negra ahí, like with the Wikipedia. If you look him up, folks, he's like 5'10", and then if you look up on like Wikipedia, he's like 5'11", and then if you look up just Google or Transfer Market, he's 6 foot.
Yeah.
No.
Algo funny ahí.
No me estén. No,
Next time he comes around our area, why you out a measuring tape?
Yeah,
A ver, cabrón, vente pa' acá.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, you're 5'10", right?
Yeah,
So stand right next to, hey,
Como que...
a mí no me confundes, cabrón. We're the same height.
No estés echando mentiras, güey.
All right, folks, let's move on to the defenders. The defenders that Jimmy Lozano has called up: Jorge Sanchez from Porto, Israel Reyes from America, Brian El Guamerucito Garcia, who got a red card versus Chivas del Toluca, Cesar El Cachorro Montes from Almería, Victor Guzmán de Rayados, Alexis Peña from Necaxa, Johan Vázquez de Genoa, Chiquete Orozco from Chivas, Gerardo Arteaga from Rayados, and then El Cotorro González, Brian González de Pachuca. Give me your thoughts. What do you think of these defenders?
I think it's a really good list of defenders. The only one that I know Jorge Sanchez is in Europe, but I still have issues with him being our right back, our starting right back.
Yeah, he's basically the only pure right back on here, to be honest with you.
Israel Reyes plays that position in America, but he's not a natural right back. He's more of a center back.
Brian Gonzalez plays there, but he is a converted winger. He used to be... No, he's actually on the left. Actually, never mind.
He's on the left,
Yeah,
he's one of my players that I'm calling out and that I'm happy he's there because he's done the natural proceso with las selecciones inferiores and gone up to Pachuca and now is a complete starter in Pachuca and killing it.
And tried and true, if you went through Pachuca, if you've been through La Escuela de Almada and you've graduated to the senior squad and you play every minute.
Yeah, props.
Que más queremos? We could bring the whole damn Pachuca youth team.
And I'd be okay with it.
And I'd be like, dude, let them cook. In 3 years, we're going to win the World Cup. Like, nobody's going to stop them if they did that.
But Cesar Montes, I know he's going to second division, but I still think he's one of our better center backs. Victor Guzman has been killing it with Rayados. Peña, I'm not really too familiar with him. Are you?
Yeah, he's ex-Chivas. Ex-Cruz Azul. Was getting tossed around everywhere. And then he moved over to Necaxa. He's gotten a good break there. I believe statistically speaking, like a foot mob, which we don't take it with a grain of salt. But I think he was one of the most effective center backs of last season with them.
Okay.
With all of that in mind, I will flip it on its head. Black Mirror twist. I don't think Alexis Peña is a national team center back. He's not the level.
Okay.
He's a Liga MX center back, a very good Liga MX center back in the same way that maybe Pollo Briseño is good, right? He's good, right? You want him in, you'll be like, yeah, sure. Do you want him for your national team against Vinny, against Rodrigo, against Messi, Lautaro? No, right? This is one of those that I'm going to call out that I wish they would have done a little bit more generational change with this. You could have gone 3-4 years younger and gotten somebody really ready here when I think you have your starters set with Johan Vázquez and a Cesar Montes. I think you have a little bit of room to play with. Let somebody else cook.
Yeah, Johan Vázquez is next. Completely agree there. One of the best center backs we have at the moment. rumored to go to Lazio, by the way.
To be honest with you, probably one of the most informed players that Mexico has right now.
Yeah.
Because like an Edson had a little bit of a dip, who had started really strong. Santi's not doing that great anymore. I think he's de lo mejor que tenemos.
El Chiquito Orozco also deserved call-up. And then Arteaga, even though he came back from Europe, from Hank, back to Rayados, I think at Monterrey he's been doing well. And then Brian Gonzalez from Pachuca, who we just mentioned, also deserved call-up.
I like this list. I don't love El Guamurosito Garcia, who got a red card against Chivas. I think that's another position they could have gone younger. He's an outside back. I believe he is a right back. But you can flex Omar Campos. He played left and right back. They took him to the U23s. I think he could be there. One person that is a pure right back who is completely disrespected by this list is Rodrigo Huescas.
Definitely.
You're getting rumors to PSV, to Feyenoord, to La Escuela del Fut, as we call it. But you can't get a call-up to the major national team.
You got a call-up for the U23s.
Yeah.
He's one of those players that should have gone call-up.
There's a shortage of right backs right now, right? I don't get why Julian Araujo is not on here. He needs to have been on here. Yes, he's coming off of an injury.
Yeah.
It's in a month.
Yeah, but maybe he's, oh, shit, for real. Because if you're not on this list, you can't go to Copa America, right?
They can't squeeze you in.
Wow. That's a big...
unless he can cook something else up, but Julian Araujo had his first game back last week. He played like 70-something minutes, did really well. They lost, but did well. Why not throw him in now, like as a potential for then? If he had already taken Jorge Sanchez's job.
Yeah.
It was his.
Yeah, that's crazy. He should have been called up.
Maybe he'll sneak him in, but I would have taken Rodrigo Huescas any day over the Guamurosito. Guamurosito's like 26, 27, Liga MX lifer. All of a sudden starting to do well. I get it. But bring those fools for los Juegos Moleros. Don't bring European people.
Even then, I wouldn't call him up. I'd rather still take a younger guy.
Bring
the ones we mentioned.
Exactly that. But a huge thank you to Jimmy Lozano for bringing El Cotorro Gonzalez. I will say that. I've been screaming for this. I've been screaming for a lot of Pachuca players. But this dude right here, he's not a rotational player like a lot of their attacking youngsters.
He doesn't have that high number on his back.
Nope. This dude is there, and he has been there, and he is killing it. And I'm excited for what he can do. He's a bit weak on the defensive side. He was getting torched by, I think, Israel Reyes and Cendejas when they played America.
Yeah.
Because they kind of left in the Champions Cup, I think Idrissi was leaving him to dry. That fool never drops.
No.
But if he can fix that, if he can attack a bunch, almost like a Gallardo, right? Like Gallardo when he was younger and he was better. Maybe we can get something like that.
I think he's poised to do even better. Pachuca just needs to let go of these youngsters to Europe so they can exploit that potential that they have.
Yep. And I think because they're pumping so many, there's no way they can charge 10 to 15 like other teams do.
No.
If you got 10 of them that are all so good that European teams want them, hopefully they can do a little 2x3, 3x5 deal, you know? A little something, a little coupon. All right, folks. Let's move it on to the mids. The mids that Jimmy Lozano called up: Edson Alvarez from West Ham, Luis Romo, Rayados, Jordan Carrillo from Santos, Eric Sanchez from Pachuca, Orbelín Pineda from Athens, El Piojo Alvarado from Chivas, Luis Chavez from Dinamo Moscú, Andrés Montaño from Mazatlán, who is an interesting one we could talk about, Fernando Beltrán and Nene from Chivas, and Charlie Rodriguez. He had to throw him in at the very end, como pa que no lo lean, some people, no?
Hot take. He ended the season really well. He's doing really well with Cruz Azul, kind of orchestrating their attack. So I think it's a deserved call-up then.
And Luis Romo. Luis Romo is balling out with Monterrey.
Luis Romo's balling out, even though I still think he's on the older side of things también. Bring Fidel Ambriz, bring somebody else younger, and let them play.
I think
he's had his chance.
I've been seeing a lot of people criticizing that none of these are like a pure 10.
Yes.
Right?
Actually, Jordan Carrillo
is more like that, pero también como que se abre mucho, right? He's a bit of a up and down también. But they're more box to boxes, right? Yeah. And there's no Córdobas. Córdoba te hace lo que tiene que hacer on the defense, but he's not going to be the one all the way back. Like Romo drops all the way to your box. But no Cortizos.
Jordan Cortizos is a big miss in this call-up.
Right. A couple of creative, like pure 10s, almost like a trophies, right? Those fools are not going to drop. But some of those players aren't here. But Jimmy, I think, is pretty tried and true that he would give those up for boxed boxes, right? Which is what a Charlie is, what a Luis Romo is. Almost like Piojo. That's un poquito más de sacrificio for the team.
Yeah, and it's going to come down also to the formation he uses, right? The system that he's going to put in with these players. Because he usually does a 4-3-3 with the two, with Edson and then your Eric Sanchez and your Luis Chavez.
Yeah.
So it's
that's
just
what we think is going
right?
to be there, yeah.
A lot of people were speculating that he's going to do a 4-2-3-1 with an Edson and then somebody else besides him holding, and then your 10, and then your outsides, your wingers, and then a true
Who'd
9.
be your 10, though?
And that's the issue. It's like, okay,
Jordan Carrillo's not tried with the senior squad yet. He hasn't even gotten minutes there.
He hasn't. So I think it's going to go down to a 4-3-3, just his whatever he's been, cooking before.
But he could have cooked with the 10. He could have brought... And Jordi Cortizo's hard to plug and play in like the first fucking match of the Copa America.
But it's because we don't have a true 10. At a high level.
Because Mexico's exporting that, right? They're bringing in extranjeros that are your 10s, that are the creatives, that are the explosive players. We're getting them a little bit more with some of these youth players. Montaño is a very good attacking player, pero también just because of the way that these roles work, he has to be defensive because the extranjeros on Mazatlan aren't defensive, right? So he's not the guy that you're just like, everybody defend, give it to him. No. He does the todo, and then he just happens to be in the box, and he scores his goals.
Yeah.
Right? But Jordi Cortizo is probably the closest to that. Chapito Montes back in the day type of vibes, right?
Chapito Montes was a killer. But yeah, I think Montaño is a great call-up. He's still super young. I think he's like 21, también 22.
And he can get in there. I bet you in trainings he's cooking fools.
And to go, like Mazatlan, no es un equipo que digamos, they're like the canteranos of la selección. Mm-hmm. We usually think of América, Chivas, Pumas, Pachuca recently. But to call someone from Mazatlan, it lets you know that Jimmy is going out there and doing his homework and trying to pick up some really good players.
People have been screaming for this dude, right? Like he's pure talent, right? Not a lot of marketing from Mazatlan, right? But pure talent. And rumors is that he's going to go to like a Cruz Azul.
Vete Europa,
just hold out y vete. No, but yeah, some players like Piojo Alvarado having the season of their dreams, right? A lot of people criticizing him, the forever Liga MX, Charlie, Luis Romo. But to be honest with you, I think Jimmy, out of these guys, he is keeping the ones that are in their best moments.
Yeah.
They are in their best moments. Unfortunately, it's not in Europe. It's not against a lot of the competition that they're going to be facing in Copa America. But it is the best that we have. And a big thing that I'm saying is Mexico, this is some of the best that Mexico has. And that's because of a lack of talent more than anything else. There is no dozens of players to pick from. It is what they have, and they're all in Liga MX. There's very few of these in Europe. How many won?
1, 2, 3,
4, 5 total. 6 with Jorge Sanchez. 6 total Europeans in this squad of 31, which we are saying Liga is the best that Mexico has to offer.
Yeah.
That is incredible. You might as well go back to the 90s where you just told everybody, come back to Liga MX. Pero aquí, háganse cabrones, güey. Aquí jueguen bien. Be the best players you guys can be. That's what they might as well fucking do because nobody's leaving Mexico.
No. Unfortunately not.
Unfortunately. Yeah, let's move it on then. Let's move to los delanteros. The ones that get paid the big bucks.
To score some goals.
To score, to be creative, which is something that Mexico hasn't had. Creativity, dynamic play, give and go, te la doy, tuya, mía, pásala para acá, te la presto.
Una gambeta aquí, allá.
Yeah, and that's, I think, one thing that we are gaining more of in this list is game changers is going to be one thing I'll say. I'll say it a lot with this group, is that I think we had a lot of very passive players in the past. Te la toco para atrás, la toco para el lado en vez de para adelante. En vez de encarar, I give it to somebody else. It's somebody else's job to do it, not mine, right? But in this group, I think we have players that excite me because I think they can face a player, beat them, get a good cross, get a shot on goal or something.
And I think it goes with having a generational change where you're like clean slate, saying everybody has an equal chance, and go out there and die for that shirt that you're wearing.
Exactly.
You see, no, I'm sorry. No, you'd
Call somebody else. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, let's get rolling. Marcelo Flores from Tigres, El Chino Huerta from Pumas, Quiñones from América, Memo Martinez from Pumas, Santi Jimenez from Feyenoord, Alexis Vega makes his return from Toluca, Uriel Antuna from Cruz Azul, and Diego Lainez from Tigres. Give me your thoughts. What do you think about these forwards?
Decent forwards, decent, like you said, change makers, players who can give you a gambeta. So you bring in somebody like Memo Martinez, who's 28 right now. By the time he gets to the World Cup, he's going to be 31. And you bring him in to replace a Henry Martin, who's 31 and going to be 33. So again, it's old. They're older forwards who I would have preferred bringing in someone younger to fill in that spot so they can be our true 9, along with maybe Santi Jimenez, and fight for that position when the World Cup rolls around.
Yeah, that's a really good point. You're not doing a pure, true generational change if you're bringing in somebody that's also late 20s. That's not a, maybe it's like a half generation, dog. You're going from Gen Z to Gen Z. Like, you're not doing millennial to millennial. You're not going Gen Z. But, I mean, we have been calling it out here that Memo Martinez needed a shot. Similar to the Julio Gonzalez piece, right? But we're not saying at the expense of like a player that you think is pretty solid. Henry Martin is el capitán de la América. That's a big thing, right? He is one of their top goal scorers, I think maybe tied for the top in this past season. He's a very good player. Memo Martinez is also a very good player. It's a bit unfortunate that his call-up came at the expense of Henry. We do have a couple of good strikers there, right? But it just would be amazing if one of these stood out a lot more than the other. They're pretty similar. But I think out of these two, I would have loved Henry there. But maybe Jimmy is looking at, okay, you do have a couple more years. At 31, I do see you in a better shape. Now let's get you cooking.
Yeah, which, I mean, that's the only piece that I'd say, all right, maybe. But I think if you would have called him sooner, he would have gained that experience. And you could have got much more out of a player like him. Yeah. Because it's been like over a year that he's been cooking, right? Mm-hmm. He should have been called up again. No habían hecho este generational change. So a lot of these players missed out on precious years. They could have gotten experience.
And now they're going to get scolded if they don't show up at the Copa America.
And now it's like you got one true shot. Y si no, I'm sorry, you're already 29.
Sorry, I'm going to call Henry Martin back.
Oh, yeah, or I'm going to call Henry Martin back.
Which is like, is that really fair? Like, my guy?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Memo Martinez got called up for a recent call-up, one of those Juegos Moleros, and he scored one of the goals, right? So he's been killing it with Pumas. He scored a goal in the last match against Cruz Azul. Yeah. Almost scored another amazing breakaway. So he's raising his hand. He is doing it. So kudos to him. I'm wondering if Henry Martin had a similar conversation as Ochoa. Henry Martin seems very prideful. I wonder. A lot of people I've been seeing online, I even saw Faitelson bring this up, that they think that taking Henry out is saying Santi is our guy. It's not a competition anymore. Santi is our guy. Y hasta la verga que nomás estorbas.
No, which it does make sense. I see Memo Martinez more as a backup to Santi Jimenez.
And let me cook with this. I would be okay with this if Memo Martinez is the number 3 striker.
Who's your number 2 striker?
If Jimmy is now convinced that Alexis Vega is the number 9. Remember, in El Mundial, I was saying, Tata, pon a Alexis de 9, not out wide. Don't have him cut in and shoot. Just put him at the 9. We have Raul Jimenez starting. Jesus Christ, Henry Martin is starting. I think with the moment that Alexis Vega has right now, if Santi's not showing up, bring Alexis off of the bench, because I don't see Alexis starting out wide. I think Antuna's at a good moment that Jimmy will respect it and he'll start. And then Quiñones is obviously playing lights out above everybody else.
Yeah.
And then I think a Chino Huerta will come in for one side. I think a Marcelo Flores or Diego Lainez will come in on the other side.
Where do you put El Piojo Alvarado.
In the mid, a little bit lower, because he's been playing centrally with the Chivas and playing lights out with Chivas.
So you take out a Chiquito Sanchez or a Luis Chavez?
No, not starting. Piojo's not going to start.
Okay, so ¿cuál es su cambio natural? ¿En dónde lo pones?
¿A quién
sacas a Piojo Alvarado?
El Chiquito Sanchez for him.
Interesting. Okay.
And have him play a little bit more up. But, well, okay, ahí se hagan bola los güeyes. But what I'm saying is, we'll talk about it too. I think Alexis Vega needs to be that 9. I don't think he's bringing him in to be a winger. And I think if he does, I'm excited for this team. If you have Santi and Alexis that had 10 total goal contributions in 15 matches, I would be excited for him to be the backup 9. And I think this kind of changes the way that I see this Jimmy team. If Santi's not cooking, Alexis will come in. That fool's going to be fucking tirando madrazo donde sea, all of a sudden killing it.
I had Alexis Vega out of the picture. Okay, you brought him, but I kind of had him out of the picture because I was like, well, I saw him against Chivas, and I thought he's still kind of like overweight. The way he runs kind of thing. So I'm like, how is he?
Pero está con más ganas at least, because he has that. Tiene la espina. He's like, everyone's hating on me from what I did at Chivas. I'm a little bit lighter now. He is lighter. I'm playing better. I'm more aggressive. I'm at my 9 position because Toluca's always respected him at the 9. Whatever extranjero you pull in, they had a full from Vasco da Gama, I think, and he was his backup.
No, see, and I was thinking of Memo Martinez being Santi's natural backup, which would make sense. You bring somebody more experienced, maybe he can get in there. That's what
I'm scared of from Jimmy, because he doesn't usually take 3 strikers. Right. But I think he needs Alexis to be that number 2. I think he needs to be number 2 in front of Memo. I think Memo comes in if he needs him wide. But I think
second striker.
Alexis needs to be Santi's backup and then Memo Martinez. And I love this squad.
Got it. That's a good take. That's a good.
I'm cooking there.
And then I think in Tokyo, that's how he played in Tambien.
Yeah. And then just because Chivas started playing him wide, he started Tata started putting him wide, and then since Jimmy's got there, I don't think he's really called him up because of the drama with Chivas.
Yeah.
All right, folks. That was the squad.
Let's go.
Diego Lainez coming back too. That was kind of nice. Marcelo Flores, you got a good little Tigres squad. Noziel Herrera, right? He's in the U23s.
He's at the U23s.
Yeah. Who else you got? Who's missing?
I had for Fidel Ambris, Omar Campos, the Huescas, the Tapias. I think all of these standouts who are on the U23 squad that I felt like should have had a chance in this Mayor. Pero I think everybody that we mentioned in this Jimmy squad, I feel like deserves to be there, other than Julio Gonzalez, in my opinion.
Julio Gonzalez. I don't love the Alexis Peñas. I don't like Guamarucito Garcia. I think we could have cooked with younger players. Bro, fuck it. Bring the fucking Pachuca players. I got a point. I got something I want to cook real quick.
All right, you cook this time.
Okay. One thing I want to bring up. Jimmy has been complaining about how much these players need to go to Europe, how much there's a lack of Europe. He did that tour in Europe with all the coaches of the players that he has out there. Went to Feyenoord, to all these squads. I think to Almeria too. Jimmy says that, but then he doesn't respect the players that risk it all to go out there to play for European squads, give up the cushy life of Liga MX. There aren't that many players in Europe that are in the first team squads. A lot of them that went and risked it all are youth players like Jesus Hernandez, like all the Pachuca players, all the Santos players with Sporting and Oviedo. So the reason why I bring this up is because I don't think Jimmy is really giving them the respect that they need. If he's saying, I want more players to go to Europe, he's not honoring that. When they go to Europe, call them up, give them a shot. There is one player in Europe that is playing very well at the moment that went live on, I think, like on TUDN or with El Burro Van Ranking. And he said that he didn't get talked to at all by Jimmy for this call-up, and that Jimmy didn't go visit him in that tour that he did in Europe. And that's Antonio Portales, center back from Dundee FC in the Scottish Premiership. Baller center back from Atlante. Yes, we know it's kind of a meme. Second division in Mexico. Risked it all. Goes to the Premiership. They're in the qualification for the championship, so they play Celtic often. They play Rangers often. He scored against both of them as a center back.
And a banger, one of them.
And he's played very solid matches against these top squads in the Scottish League that go and play European competitions against amazing squads from the Premier League from everywhere, right? He went and risked a lot, and he's doing the best that he can, and he's killing it. My hot take is that if he brings him instead of Alexis Peña, he would show up and he would fight for Cesar Montes' spot.
Let's go.
I think he would even take Cesar Montes' spot because Cesar Montes isn't playing at a great level. He's getting exposed in Europe for maybe not knowing how to defend as well, like we hear from a lot of Liga MX players that they need to learn. And he's going to second division, right? He's not playing first division footy.
No.
But there is a Mexican right-footed center back that is playing Scottish Premiership first division footy, and he can go to a better team, hopefully. But I think Antonio Portales got completely disrespected in this call-up, and I think he needs to be looked at by Jimmy for a future call-up for at least the Moleros or something. Give him a shot, and who knows, maybe you'll have another solid center back, which is something that you need since they haven't had Nestor Araujo. Like right now, they're struggling. They're trying to fit in Victor Guzman, but ¿para qué buscar si ahí lo traes?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think it's absurd that he never got visited by Jimmy Lozano. And it goes to your point that, okay, you didn't come from the traditional way, from that Liga MX or any of these top Liga MX teams, and you don't have that marketing media behind you, that recognition, right?
And he's like 27, like he's like at an awkward age.
Yeah, exactly. But what he's done at Dundee is completely like merited a call-up.
Mm-hmm.
Dundee is not a top team in the Scottish Premiership. Dundee usually doesn't qualify to the last stage of that league. They're only there because of great performances by Antonio Portales.
Mm-hmm.
That whole team did well, but I think one person to stand out, and we've seen it the whole season, it's Antonio Portales has been killing it.
And he was injured for a good amount at the beginning, and they were struggling.
Yeah.
I think they were in the relegation section.
Yeah.
And then he came back. They started doing a lot better.
He started
had
scoring.
Clean sheets. He scored. I don't know what else you really need. Like, if the U.S. is calling Cameron Carter-Vickers at Celtic, like, why not bring up, if you have way less players than that, why not bring up the player that's in a competing team?
Exactly. Y lo también, this is like a Tim Ream type of situation where they brought in a center back who's a bit older, more experienced, plays in Europe. I think Antonio Portales would fit that for that next Mexico World Cup. He's 28. He's going to get there by 30, 31. I think for a center back, that's better. That's good because you're more experienced. As a center back, you kind of peak as you get older with that experience. So I think he needs a call-up for sure.
Yep.
Your point, perfecto. I
exactly. ¿Para qué Alexis Peña?
Yeah, exactly.
Mejor. This has been the overarching argument for a while. What I opened with. If you're telling people you need more players in Europe, don't bring the Liga MX lifer. Bring the dude that risked it all in Europe. Bring even the second division dude in Europe, right? And tell the players that are in Mexico, get the fuck out of here. Take less money and go over there.
Yeah.
Have fun over there in Europe. It's an amazing fucking continent. Go. Enjoy your life.
Portales said, I had a contract ready for Atlético San Luis, but in the last week, Dundee's offer came through, and he was like, yo, I'm sorry, Atlético, but I've always wanted to go to Europe, and it was less money in Scotland, and he took it.
And I bet you now he does well. Guess what? If a Celtic comes knocking, somebody in that same league, a better team, he's going to make good money.
Yeah.
And in that country, he's probably going to be living fine,
yeah.
right? And he's going to have an amazing life out there. Y tú en la pinche Liga MX, güey, en último lugar, siempre.
Sí, no, está dura la cosa.
And the biggest thing that this showed us as well is that even second division Mexican footy has amazing talent. If you are a Mexican baller in Mexico, you can play in good leagues. You're just not being sold by your team. They're blocking you from going out and living your best life in Europe.
Jesus Christ, bro.
Right? A second division center back is killing it in the Scottish Premiership. Think about that. That's crazy. Ay, ay, ay. I had to get that off my chest. Dios mío.
That's a good piece because nobody's talking about.
Nobody's talking about him. All right, folks. Let's bring it on home then. We do want to keep this a bit like our regular episode, so we'll talk a little bit about Liga MX. If you guys haven't checked it, on Goals TV, we have our our predictions for our pick'ems, for the scores, what we think will happen this week. It is my Chivas Rayas de Guadalajara versus El Cesar's América, sus Huilas. And the first game is tonight. Tonight is Wednesday, and then we got a game Saturday, El de Vuelta. Maybe tonight, I've already heard this. Hopefully we can get on live. Go on there and vibe. But let's talk about it a little bit. What happened this past week? Monterrey pulled through versus Tigres. And you have the Monterrey beating Cruz Azul, so you think it's Tano time.
I think it's Tano time. I think more than Tano, I think it's this Monterrey has finally woken up. The Arteagas, the Romos that we just talked about, Berterames, the Maxi Mesa. I think they've woken up against Tigres, and now they're ready. Prime time for this semifinal against Anselmi's Cruz Azul.
Beautiful. I think Cruz Azul is going to move on. But yeah, folks, if you guys want the detailed score predictions, jump over to goals. From the Cruz Azul match, they beat Pumas. They tied 2-2 in El Azul, which made Cruz Azul move on really easily. But we're already starting to hear some transfer rumors. That's mainly what I want to talk about. We know who moved on. Chino Huerta is starting to get apparently looks from top Champions League teams. Yep. Not top Champions League teams. Champions League teams that are top teams in Europe somewhere. So let's keep that clear. I think like mid to upper table Italian teams. Yeah. And then I think a couple of Premier League teams.
Girona from Spain was rumored that they were interested.
Damn, City Group. Good.
They're going to sell the player to City. Ahora, who are we looking for now? Landing on Chino Huerta. There's both fucking teams are talking, but there's nothing concrete yet.
Yo, así siempre es, güey.
Así es, pero son rumores, pues.
Yeah, you know what they need? They need Santi's representative, the homegirl.
Oh, the homie?
She cooks. She's like, cabrones, pónganse ahorita a escribir, cabrón. Yo quiero palabras, escríbenle.
Y también, andan ahí similar. Hay una fotito aquí, una fotito allá. A ver quién se pelea por Santi, cabrón.
And that's what you need, right? You flex on the gram that there's interest. Probably helps with other teams, too. But Chino has what European team squads need. Especially mid to lower tables, doc. If your team's struggling, but that fool's out there solito, dásela, he's going to cook half that team. Or he's gonna try.
Yeah,
and right. A lot of players are scared to even try gameteando, but that's what he is.
Awesome, Chino es cabrón, and hopefully he does go to Europe.
Yeah, he needs it. He needs it for his career. That's the next step. America, they moved on after 2 draws versus Pachuca. They just can't beat Pachuca.
I know. I was
but
struggling.
They beat Pachuca.
In the last few minutes, I think it was in the last minute, they got a. Julian Quiñones finally scored after having some dreadful games these past few ones against Pachuca.
Salió el balón, güey.
No salió.
Salió de...
Que no salió, cabrón. We already discussed this on our goals episode. No
the fool from America kicked it out. It wasn't Chiquito Sánchez.
El abanderado went like this right away. Es instinto ya
I'm
cuando
telling
lo
you,
miras
it's
ahí.
one of those plays... people in the crowd, please tell us in the comments. This happens in every league. You're the team that's losing, and it kind of looks like the 2 crashed, so they just give it to the team that's losing.
No,
just
that
natural.
Doesn't happen.
No. The America player kicked that ball out, and the ref, por los pinches huevitos que trae, was like,
no se miró así, se miró.
No. That fool's not.
Rápido, instinctual.
Did you hear that the ref apparently failed a bunch of exams before the season started?
The linesman?
No, the head ref. Ooh. So the whole squad was not qualified.
That's why.
And then apparently at some point throughout the season, they redid the tests, but there's no results. But he passed.
That's bendita Liga MX for you.
No. That's
such Liga MX.
How do you have America was number 1 overall? How do you have the freaking Sunday League ref as the ref?
This guy.
You guys have great refs in Mexico. How do you get the guy that had just recently failed tests? I don't know if that was true or not, but it was a dude on Fútbol Picante, the resident ref there. So I don't think he'd be lying. The way with the fucking dark eye bags. Yeah. And no. Y'all got lucky Idrissi didn't play the first match is what it was.
I didn't get lucky. Idrissi made a mistake and it cost him.
No, pero el árbitro también no era para María. Cálmense.
Salte, cabrón, salte.
Pues yeah. That's what I'm pissed about too. Pero pues pues no pudo. Mis Chivas, they survived el infierno. A draw, a 0-0 low-scoring affair, 1-0 overall. Alexis Vega got marked offsides on the goal. Lloró, gritó, se las rayó a todos de las Chivas, se quitó la camisa. He drank a beer again like last time. Hizo todo.
Todo su show.
Wait, no manches. He did like 10 celebrations, and then the ref for some reason took hell long to mark it.
Yeah. Unfortunate, but I think Alexis Vega was the best player of that game. Nomás no se pudo. Tus Chivas pasaron de panzazo igual.
At least we won.
So,
ahí me la pelaste, cabrón. At least we won.
Bueno, está bien.
Imagínate, dude.
Ahora no.
Imagínate versus Chivas. America ties both matches, and they make it to a final without having won a single playoff game.
I'll take it because we knocked your bitches out.
No, güey, eso no es tranzas. Ya ni en la pinche Champions son de esas cosas, güey.
Hey, finish better than the table, cabrón.
Pero ya ni en la Champions.
Son
in the best competition in the world, ya ni se
separate
juega.
tournaments. You've agreed to this since the beginning of the tournament that así se iba a jugar. Ahora no me estás chillando.
Ay, apacito. No. Pues así son los americanistas, güey, ya saben. ¿Verdad? Cómo me tratan.
Así es el formato. Y
cómo
así
me tratan.
Yo
nomás soy cojos y cómo
sí.
me tratan, güey. Me grita. Que no sé qué. No, but yeah, Alexis Vega unfortunately had to dry up those tears afterwards.
Maybe next season, Alexis.
I felt really bad because I was like, oh, like I mean, I don't feel bad because I was a Chivas fan. I'm a Chivas fan, right? And I saw it, but like, I was like,
I was just amused by the whole situation.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly thought it was a goal, and then when they showed it, I was like, draw the line, y hazla así.
A little slight angle there, please.
Yeah.
Hey, but what about your Chicharito way? Big ol' miss.
Big ol' miss, but that's what he needs to do. He shouldn't have started like in the first match. He has no business starting there if he's not in rhythm.
Yeah.
And then even after this, you have no reason starting if you're not in good shape. If you're not in good shape, if you're not in good form, if you're missing sitters like that. Cade Cowell did a Cade Cowell play, crossed it in. That's what Chicharito's supposed to have never lost, right? Eso matón. In front of the keeper, you play at the highest of levels. Wait, do some shit we've never seen. Stop it. Búrlatelo acá. Bring it back. Otra vez. La gambeta. Throw it over him. Show the quality.
Yeah.
I guess nobody's asking for you to run fucking 70 yards.
No.
Be in front of the box and be a killer.
The way he runs too is kind of funny.
Yeah.
He's all there. But all those, if you had it in you, eso las metes 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah, but I bet you,
yeah, exactly.
I bet you that 9 out of 10 times he makes them, and this was that one, so agárrense, cabrones, eh?
No. I bet you
that killer's in there. Es como estar en un bici.
Never would have missed that.
Who?
Our ídolo, Cuauhtémoc Blanco, never would have missed that.
No manches, güey.
I'm just saying, dude.
Ahorita ni juega, lo
juegan con él. Todo jorobado también.
I know, for real, huh? But I like what they're doing. He is a super sub. Let him be a super sub. Don't get cute. He can't play 70 minutes. Let Ricardo Marin do the Henry Martin cansarlos a todos.
Yeah.
And then bring Chicharito in. Hopefully you're up. Maybe he'll put one away. But you can't really bank, as of right now, that you're going to be down by a goal and that he's going to bring you back.
Yeah.
So
that's rough.
Let the youngins cook and then bring Chicharito in and see what he can do.
Yeah.
Y ponle balones. He's not going to do it if you don't give him the ball. So put him. I like putting Cade Cowell, but I want Cade Cowell to get more minutes. Get him the fucking ball y a ver si mete algo.
Let him cook. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, semifinals today. Chivas versus America. You're betting your America move on. I'm betting my Chivas to move on. You bet Monterrey. I bet Cruz Azul.
We're either 1-1 or
Burritazo.
Burritazo.
Okay.
Del Tule. Shout out Tule.
Del Tule. On both matches? I mean, how would that work? What if one of each?
No,
we just go together and we just split the bill.
Overall.
Well, that's why. It's you bet one, I bet another. You bet one, I bet another. So we could go 1-1. And if we just match even, do we just go to Tule and split the bill or what?
No. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Pues a chingarle.
Hopefully ends 2-0 a mi favor.
No. Just touching on it real quick, folks. We won't go too deep into it, but in the EPL, when was it? Today and yesterday. Yesterday was City, right?
Yeah. City.
Just yesterday, City versus Tottenham ruined all of our dreams.
Not all of us.
El pobre pinche Tottenham se dejó.
Sonny
Se dejó, cabrones. Sonny, no mames, güey.
Sonny had a clear one-on-one.
Had a sitter. Akanji messed it up, right?
Yeah.
And almost like a la Gerard.
Yeah.
And then Sonny got a breakaway. He could have done. He could have read the book like Chicharito read a book. Y llevárselo pa' acá. But just shot it. And Stefan Ortega came on ready.
Yeah.
He stopped like one, but right before two con los huevitos on
Culo.
Ay, sheesh.
Sóbate, viejo.
I know. Hey, se vale. Hey, agárrate. It's all good. Ya sé que te duele.
But yeah, he got a good save because Ederson came out because he got a bit of a head injury. Ederson was fucking pissed.
No mames, qué madrazo le dio, though.
Yeah, for real. Fucking
Cuti.
El Cuti Romero, no, un pinche.
I'm telling you, la estaba guardando desde Brasil.
Sí, güey.
With Brazil versus Argentina, it's like, te odio, cabrón. Vámonos.
Hey, 50-50, te chingaste, güey.
No, but that fool was like, I think he was pissed, Ederson, but I also think he was just out of it. Like he was madreado de la cabeza, like probably concussion types. They didn't do protocol, but they just took him out, right? Because he was not okay.
Well,
but like when he was on the fucking sidelines, he was like holding his head and he looked like he was like, oh, you're right.
Well,
like,
he nearly passed out when he was on the floor.
Yeah, right.
Entraron las asistencias and they determined he was good.
Yeah, and then he got up and he was like, I'm not Gucci.
And se miraba más o menos, but Pep was like, nah, bro.
Parecía que andaba bailando cumbia.
Sí, y parecía que andaba en la disco porque estaba todo swing. And then, yeah, Stefan Ortega came in and he was on it.
Yeah, he was. He
and
came in.
Because of him, tu pinche Tottenham no metió gol.
Exactly. Yeah, that funny play. Son misses that 1v1, but Pep is on the ground.
Yeah.
Like hella stressed about it, right? I've never seen a coach with that much emotion on the ground. But yeah, Sonny, way to show your true colors and not put that one away. And then did you see Pep talking to him after the match? He was like patting him and they're laughing about it. And I'm just like,
I felt like
de tu perra madre.
No. I felt like Sonny was like just being nice. Like, what do you?
Yeah, he was being nice, but then Pep was like, you know, typical.
Yeah.
And then Sonny was like,
yeah.
And I'm like, tu pinche madre, güey.
Es que le llegó el wiring, güey.
Did you see Anje? Anje Postecoglou was talking to the fans because they started chanting Arsenal stuff. They started chanting, throw the match. They were telling him, throw the match. And apparently this one fan was saying it so much that at a certain point he came back and said, like, that's not the way we do it or something like that. And I was like, ¿de qué te sirvió, güey? Igual acabaste mal.
Yeah, and then after the game, también Postecoglou was like, yo, this club is shit.
Yeah, he called them, like, said that there's a lot of things bad on the field, even worse
off the field.
And
it goes in line with what Mourinho has said before about Tottenham and Conte as well. So it's like a recurring theme. Is something that Tottenham, if they ever want to win anything, they need to fix those issues.
Yeah, something in the culture, something in that locker room. But yeah,
I'd hate being a Spurs fan, bro.
Exactly. Yeah, Santi, do not go, por favor.
Now they're gonna be Europa League, so no vayas, cabrón.
No vayas, güey. Vete a la Champions.
Porfis.
And yeah, that leaves us with just the match of Manchester City versus West Ham. Arsenal plays versus Everton. So we're really banking on Edson. Come on, keep that clean sheet.
Let's go, Edson.
Yeah, otherwise Manchester City is champions once again. 4th time in a row.
But I mean, even if it's 4th time in a row, like they had so long to
7th time in 8 years.
They had so long to freaking mess up somewhere, and your Arsenal, the Aston Villa loss is gonna haunt you guys. And even before that, in like December, you guys lost against like random teams. Is like,
did you see that match? Did you see that Aston Villa was celebrating?
Yeah, and they were having a dinner all together.
That's so fucking stupid. Jesus Christ!
Wow.
Tengan respeto, cabrones.
¿A quién?
Oh, they were celebrating because they moved on, right? They were top 4.
Champions.
Okay, first, second, I was like, because Arsenal.
Not everything revolves around you guys.
Yes, it does. And you know what else it revolves? Did you see the picture of Ollie Watkins in that celebration?
No.
Everyone was celebrating, and he was like, and they were saying it's because he's a childhood Arsenal fan.
Dang.
And I'm like,
you guys should buy him, bro. He's been killing it at Aston Villa.
They need a striker.
They do.
I mean, him, Ivan Toney, anybody.
Santi.
I call the rep. All right, folks. All right, well, let's bring it on home with the games to watch, Cesar. You ready?
Ay, espérame.
All right, games to watch. Cesar, let's go.
Bayern Leverkusen against Augsburg this weekend. Can Bayern keep their unbeaten streak and extend it to 51 matches? They have 3 games after that to have an invisible season.
I got Manchester City versus West Ham. West Ham, please save us. And then also I got Arsenal versus Everton. This is going to tell us who will be champions. Manchester City just needs to win. If they get a draw or they lose, Arsenal with a win would become champions, but it's not looking very likely.
In Liga MX, we got the semifinals going on. América against Chivas. Partido de vuelta en el Azteca. I expect both teams to go all out. And un burrito que nos toca el ganador.
Let's go, baby. Vámonos. All right, I got Union Berlin versus Freiburg. Berlin is in relegation. A relegation qualification spot after getting 5th in 2022 and 4th last year in 2023. If they don't get out of the relegation qualification spot, they would play Düsseldorf from the 2nd division to see who stays up. Kind of like Stuttgart last year, how they ended up winning and they stayed up.
I'm going to go to Costa Rica. We got Club Sport Herediano against LD Alajuelense. Partido de vuelta de semifinales en el Estadio de Alajuelense. They ended 2nd and 3rd in regular season, and just 3 matches ago, they played against each other and ended up a 1-1 draw. So this is going to be a really good game. Y un saludo a los ticos.
Y pura vida.
Pura vida.
In the Eredivisie, I got Walwijk versus PSV. I got Excelsior versus Feyenoord. This is for that last relegation spot. They have the same amount of points, just 3 goals differential there. It's going to come down to who concedes the most versus the top 2 teams here. A ver quién le toca una goliza and who drops down. All right, folks. Well, that's all that we had for you guys. We hope that you enjoyed that episode. That was really fun.
It was.
Talking about what we're most passionate about, right? La selección de México que nos trae hasta la pinche madre.
Se va a seguir trayendo porque...
Sí, vamos a seguir. But there's some bright spots in this, which is what we see. Let us know in the comments below, folks, wherever you guys are listening to us on YouTube, goals. Drop a comment in our social media, what you guys think of our reactions, what you guys think your predictions will be. How will they do at the Copa America? And we'll give you guys more content as we go.
Yeah, and tune in this weekend. We'll probably do another Instagram live after el Partido de Vuelta de la América against Chivas. So if you like our content, jump in there and chop it up with us. And we'll see you guys next time.
Oh, yeah. We'll talk soon. Peace.
Peace.